Today I'm going to introduce to you a gentleman that came to our chapter most recently. His technology is in there. He's a World War II naval aviator, served in the Pacific aboard the USS Hancock during the Okinawa campaign, flying a F-6F fighter aircraft. In April before I was born, 1944, the carrier Hancock was struck by a Japanese kamikaze plane. It killed 42 members of the Hancock. After World War II, he remained in the Navy flying with the Naval Air Transport Service. He later was assigned to fly in support of Berlin airlift. He spent time in Germany, found he was working with the German GIs were not much different than the average American GIs. While the Japanese soldiers thought it was a great honor to die for their emperor, thus calling them the kamikaze pilot. He has spoken to many groups before, and today you have the honor of speaking to you today, Commander William Drews. Introduce you to Commander Drews. Like a good veteran, he's going to come to the fight. Take the fight to him. Come on, Drew. There you go. You want this mic, sir?
Wait, he's got to back up.
Oh, you got to back up. Okay.
Hi there.
Hello.
Hey, I'm very curious, how many Army veterans do we have here today? Let's see, raise a hand. Oh, boy.
Hoorah!
How about Navy?
Yeah.
How about Marine Corps? Yeehaw! Good for you. Army Air Corps or Air Force? No. Do we have any Coast Guard or Merchant Marine? Well, okay. My name is Bill Drews. I'm a World War II naval aviator who went in the Navy in 1943. I was only 17 years of age. I didn't even shave yet. And I went to flight school, which took up a good year. And after I did finally get my wings of gold, I was assigned to the commanding officer of the USS Hancock, which was stationed at Pearl Harbor. I went down to San Diego, boarded aboard a cargo ship, took me up to Honolulu, and reported to the commanding officer. I spent about the next 3 months or so finding out I was going to be flying F-6F Hellcats off the Hancock. I had never flown an F-6F before, but I soon learned it wasn't any different than any other airplane. Like driving a car, if you can drive one car, you can drive another. And I forget the exact date, it was sometime in the late spring. We reported aboard the Hancock and started heading east. And we didn't know where we were going, but we soon found out that we were going to be taking part, about the third day out, in the invasion of Okinawa. I don't know if you're familiar with the island of Okinawa, but it's a long, skinny island. It runs about 75 miles north-south and only about 5 or 6 miles down the southern part. Well, our objective was to fly over the southern part where the Japanese were all embedded in the mountains, while the Marines covered and went over this open field. And those are the guys I really felt sorry for. We took off, we had 6 in our flight. We got up around 8,000 feet and down we went to get up speed. And we were all, 6 of us, given a specific area to strafe. And I was the last one, number 6 in the group. And after I turned around and did what they call in the flying, well, I turned around. And the first time I did that strafing run, I saw the spacer bullets flying past me. I was, whoa, those bullets are meant for me. So I finally realized, but after about, I forget how many strafings we made, but I'll never forget this one. I had just come back from an attack on strafing, and I was in my bunk aboard the Hancock, about 3 decks down, and near the bow of the ship. And I heard this whoop. I said, wow, what the heck is that? That was very, very unusual. And then after that, all of a sudden, all the alarms were woo, woo, woo. And all I could think about was Pearl Harbor, where so many people were trapped in the Arizona. And I got up on deck and I saw, oh my gosh, the whole flight deck was on fire. The plane hit, I would say maybe about 20 feet after the bow of the Hancock and slid right across the flight deck and crashed into the airplanes that were tied down, and they were immediately engulfed in flames. And we had one heck of a fire after that kamikaze plane hit our ship. Fortunately, it didn't do too much damage below the deck. All the damage was to the aircraft, and we lost, I would say, over 3/4 of our plane that caught on fire, and the captain just got a order to get a tractor, and we pushed them off the side of the ship.
I was graduating from nursing
Well,
school in Vicksburg, and that happened.
the engine room was not bothered, and we were ordered back to Pearl Harbor for repairs. And that's where I spent the rest of the war. And after the war, I decided to stay in, and I transferred to what they call the Naval Air Transport Service at Patuxent River, Maryland. And for about 1.5 years, it was great. I flew back and forth in between various cities and ended up in San Francisco. And then I had the opportunity to start flying across the Atlantic, bringing back a bunch of German war brides. And I was pretty good at navigation, but we didn't have any GPS or anything like that. I had to crawl up in the bubble and take a fix on the various stars. And yeah, it was very gratifying to get a nice little fix out in the middle of the ocean. And later on, the Russians decided to blockade the city of Berlin, as you know, and then I was transferred to fly into the Berlin airlift. And I'll tell you, I have never in all my life seen such horrible destruction as Berlin. Not a thing was standing. We were actually based in Frankfurt, Germany, which was about 2/3 damaged by World War II bombing. Because at the end, I mean, the Germans, there was no resistance at all. And the Air Force and just flew over about 500 feet and they were dropping all these bombs. Well, after, I guess it was about 1948 or so, I put in for leave and I went back to Patuxent River, Maryland, and one of my buddies said, hey, I'm going into Washington, would you like to come along with me? I said, okay, I didn't have anything else to do. And we ended up at the Roosevelt Hotel, which was a USO dance, and that's where I met my wife, who passed away about 8 years ago, but she gave me Linda, my daughter, my baby, Keith, very thankful for that. Thank you very much. And thank you for your service.